So we all know that, especially as of late, Bath & Body Works has been releasing tons of fragrances, especially on the women's side of things, but occasionally they remember the guys, and they do release men's fragrances from time to time. Here we have one called Gingham Legend. This is brand new, just came out in 2023. I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts on this fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Gingham Legend by Bath & Body Works, I'll tell you what I think about the smell, the notes, the performance, the comparisons to other popular fragrances, so on and so forth. I do want to start the video off by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon so you could be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or if you took something of value from today's episode. It would really mean a lot to me. So, this is a pretty simple fragrance in terms of the note breakdown that is revealed by the brand. So it just says, Gingham Legend blends notes of bergamot, rich oak, and sandalwood. So it just sounds like it's going to be woodsy and citrusy. Of course, bergamot has a bit of a nondescript sort of an aroma. Sandalwood is very smooth, rich, and creamy. And of course, with a lot of the other designer fragrances that the brand has released, they can be quite fresh, like Ocean. It could be something a little bit on the darker side of things, like the long discontinued fragrance Mahogany Woods. In any case, I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new fragrance. Let's go ahead and start things off with a quick look at the presentation. So right in the opening of this fragrance, as the note pyramid on the back describes, it does open up with this bright bergamot ingredient. So it is citrusy, and the citrus is very short-lived, and it doesn't smell hyper-realistic or anything like that. I don't get any grapefruit or lemon or lime or orange or anything like that. It's certainly not yuzu. I am getting that bergamot, and the reason why I say that is because it's kind of generic and nondescript. But it does have a freshness about it that I think has a certain mass appeal. So if you're looking at picking up something that will potentially be a compliment getter and something that's going to be highly inoffensive, Gingham Legend is the way to go, at least as far as the beginning is concerned, or the opening of the fragrance. You give it a chance to dry down. We have oak and sandalwood. Now, the sandalwood is not as rich and creamy as I thought it was going to be. When you try natural sandalwood, it's very smooth, very opulent, very regal. This actually has more of an oak ingredient to it, and even if they had put cedarwood in the note breakdown, I would have been just as convinced. So it does have this sort of woodsy, peppery aroma to it, and it's professional smelling. I have actually worn this to work on a number of occasions, and every time that I wore it, I felt like it was an appropriate situation or scenario in which to wear this fragrance. It doesn't give off this partying, clubbing, night out on the town sort of a vibe. It lacks that sweetness, and it also isn't this gym going, sort of running errands, casual, everyday type of a fragrance either. There is something about it that says, hey, wear me in an office setting, right? It does have this professional demeanor about it, but it also doesn't convey a sense of opulence or grandeur or luxury or anything like that. And I say that because it doesn't smell very expensive. In terms of the quality of the raw materials, it doesn't smell super cheap either, but it doesn't necessarily smell like something that would cost $100 or certainly not over $100. So it's very pleasant, it's smooth, it's a little citrusy. The citrus is probably going to last for about 15 minutes. It's quite ephemeral. And then what you're left over with in the dry down is the woods. So it's peppery. There's a bit of smoothness, but it's not sweet. It's not creamy or anything like that. But it really does have like this mass marketed compliment getting type of an appeal to it. However, I would reckon that some of the brighter offerings, maybe graphite or maybe even, bourbon, because there are some other offerings from the brand that have a certain freshness to them. I think those fragrances will probably be more in the wheelhouse of the type of fragrance you'd get a compliment with over this one. But nevertheless, I do think it smells very pleasant. let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it does smell like a few other fragrances that I've tried, especially some designer fragrances. The first one that comes to mind is actually Alfa Romeo Black. But aside from that, I can't think of a whole lot of fragrances that it smells like, but it does have this peppery, woodsy, tobacco-like quality to it. I know tobacco isn't listed in the note breakdown, but the overall smell is very pleasant. Longevity is going to give you about 5 hours. It does have a lot of base notes in here, but it is cologne concentration, so it's not going to be EDT strength or anything like that. Projection was great for the first half hour of application. It radiated within an arm's length, elbow's length scent right around hour 3, skin scent right around hour 5. In terms of the versatility, great for work, great for the hotter weather, great for anybody of any age, and it is masculine leaning. And in terms of the presentation, it's actually quite nice. I think there's a timeless appeal about having these rectangular bottles, and the distribution, it's not pressurized, but it does give off a nice bit of spray. My final verdict on this fragrance is if you're looking for something that is highly inexpensive, especially if you can get a deal on it, if you're looking for something that would make a good gift, especially for somebody who's a little bit on the younger side of things, something that smells clean, professional, maybe there's a younger gentleman in your life that just started a new job, I think this would make a great gift for that individual. But pleasant scent, not the best fragrance that Bath & Body Works has to offer, but I also like that they didn't choose the ultra generic route of just releasing like a citrus aquatic fragrance or something like that. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was my review of the brand new Gingham Legend by Bath & Body Works. If you own or have tried this fragrance, let me know what you think. Leave your comment down below. Also, please don't forget to support the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.